1870s, Maniktala, Calcutta. Local residents began noticing some strange activity at an old garden house which was left abandoned for a long time. Someone had rented out this abandoned villa. They heard strange noises and cries. Two women would be seen walking in occasionally, but only one would return after a while. This woman, who always returned alone, was beautiful, they said. But hidden behind that beautiful innocent face was one of the most cunning criminals of her time. Let's look into India's first recorded case of a serial killer. Yes, that's a woman. And this was during the 1870s, a time when common people in India did not even know of the term serial killer. This is the story of Triolokiya Tarini Devi. I'm Anaamika. Welcome to my world of mystery and anonymity. To the world of those stories that lie in wait around us, leaving us with unanswered questions that echo relentlessly through our thoughts, as if in an unbreakable magnetic loop. Join me on this expedition as we peel back the layers of these enigmas, diving into the uncharted waters of our world's most perplexing stories. In the late 1800s, in a sleepy Bengali village, Triolokiya's harrowing tale of darkness and deceit began. As a ritual with Bengali Kulin Brahmins, she was married off as a child with a much older person. However, as a gnome, she used to stay at her parents' home and had the chance of meeting her husband only once as he passed away soon. But Triolokiya's life was far from ordinary. It took a sinister turn when she crossed paths with a woman who pretended to be kind but was in reality a procuress for the grim underbelly of Calcutta's Sonagachi, a notorious red light district. Little did Triolokiya know that this encounter would set her on a chilling path of crime and depravity. Once blessed with youthful beauty, Triolokiya's earnings flowed like a river, enabling her to acquire wealth, a mansion, a horse-drawn carriage, and armed guards and servants. But as time's cruel hand eroded her beauty, her riches dwindled, replaced by an ever-mounting anxiety about her future. It was then that she found solace in Kali Babu, a married man, and adopted his son Hari. Yet, this newfound love led to her downfall as a prostitute. Kali Babu's constant presence acted as a repellent for prospective clients, and the expenses associated with Hari's education plunged Triolokiya into a pit of desperation. Worried about her future, Triolokiya took an evil path, transforming from a prostitute into a cunning con woman. Her first sinister scheme involved luring wealthy men from Calcutta's affluent families into her home, promising orgies and providing alcohol laced with cigar ash. She left her victims in a state of intoxication, making them easy prey for theft. Fearful of the shame, the victims refrained from reporting the crimes to the police. Yet, news of these cunning clothes soon spread like wildfire, making it increasingly challenging for Triolokiya to lure fresh victims. Undaunted, she and Kali Babu devised a more elaborate and sinister con that exploited the deeply ingrained caste system of Bengal. In a startling reversal of the dowry system among the Shrotriya Brahmins of Bengal, it was the groom's family who paid a bride price. This practice gave the prospective bride's father the power to demand any sum he pleased, as suitable girls were scarce. With the help of an accomplice, Kali Babu identified a Shrotriya Brahmin family in a distant village, desperate to secure their son's marriage. Triolokiya and Kali Babu rented a house in the outskirts of Calcutta, filled it with fake relatives who were actors, and invited the groom's family. A young sex worker disguised as the prospective bride, played her part. The unsuspecting groom happily agreed to the match. Within a month, a lavish wedding took place, with the groom's family bearing the brunt of the dowry and wedding expenses. In the groom's village, the bride was adorned with golden ornaments. She was accompanied by her mother, acting as a maid, and another accomplice posing as her uncle. A month after the wedding, the bride sought permission to visit her parents, a seemingly innocent request. However, the condition was that her husband accompany her. Dressed in her wedding jewelry, accompanied by her two partners in deception and her husband, the bride boarded a train to Calcutta. Somewhere along the journey, they slipped away, leaving the shocked groom and his family clueless. Every piece of wedding jewelry was sold, the actors paid, and Triolokiya pocketed the rest of the proceeds. This con was repeated several times, extracting wealth from unsuspecting families. However, it had to be retired when the girl playing the bride grew older and could no longer convincingly portray a 13-year-old. Undeterred by this setback, Triolokiya and Kali Babu hatched a new sinister plan that involved kidnapping young girls from the busy streets of Calcutta and selling them into marriages. In those times, Brahmin families in East Bengali villages struggled to find suitable matches for their sons, and Triolokiya and Kali Babu capitalized on their desperation. They abducted these innocent girls, manipulated them, and orchestrated marriages with families in return for substantial sums of money. But as the news of missing girls began to dominate the headlines, the police sharpened their focus, putting intense pressure on Triolokiya and Kali Babu, forcing them to abandon this operation. Triolokiya's descent into darkness grew more sinister from there. Her first attempt at murder was when Kali Babu, acting as an intermediary for a wealthy man, promised to procure jewellery from a shop in Bara Bazar at reduced prices. He arranged for the jewellery to be delivered by a shop assistant, vouching for payment upon receipt. However, when the assistant arrived with the valuable items, he fell victim to Kali Babu's treachery. The assistant was brutally murdered and buried beneath the floor of a rented house while Kali Babu pocketed the stolen riches. The case fell into the hands of Mukhopadhyay, a diligent police officer who managed to trace the rented house and discover the horrifying truth. Kali Babu was apprehended and ultimately sentenced to death. Yet, Triolokiya's involvement in this gruesome affair remained unproven in the court of law, allowing her to evade the clutches of justice. As her wealth dwindled and desperation tightened its grip, Triolokiya made a fateful decision to return to her former home in Sonagachi. There she preyed on the fears and insecurities of her former associates, prostitutes, most of whom were aging and haunted by uncertainty. She spun a wicked narrative, a tale of a holy man who possessed the power to multiply their jewellery with his divine blessings. They had to visit him wearing all their jewellery and he would double it. Over the course of 3 years, Triolokiya led 5 women, one at a time, to a desolate garden house near Maniktala in Calcutta. In the garden lay a sizable pond where the unsuspecting victims were instructed to bathe in the holy pond before meeting the holy man. These trusting women removed their precious jewellery before stepping into the water. It was then that Triolokiya struck with vicious intent. She held their heads under the water until their life ebbed away, drowning them. Yet, even in a secluded neighborhood, Triolokiya could not keep her crimes hidden. She was once caught red-handed when a passerby witnessed her attempting to drown a woman. The victim and the eyewitness took Triolokiya to the local police station. However, In a bizarre turn of events, Triolokiya managed to seduce the elderly police officer on duty, convincing him to release her. Unsatisfied with this outcome, the victim escalated the matter to Mukhopadhyay, the same diligent officer who had previously investigated her involvement in a murder but failed to secure her conviction. Mukhopadhyay, now determined to see justice served, believed wholeheartedly in Triolokiya's guilt. He launched a thorough investigation, gathering evidence that pointed to her evil actions. With an airtight case, he had Triolokiya arrested and brought to trial. However, luck appeared to favor Triolokiya once more. The police officer who had previously allowed her to escape justice had been suspended, and fearing that her conviction would destroy his career, he went to great lengths to cover her defense, even undermining the prosecution's case and arranging lawyers to fight in her defense. In a shocking twist of fate, Triolokiya once again walked free, evading the clutches of the law. Despite her miraculous escapes, the court cases had generated significant negative attention. Triolokiya was forced to relocate to a house in Chitpur. As her wealth from her previous crimes dwindled, she began looking for fresh victims. One of the prostitutes residing in the same house, named Rajkumari, possessed a substantial collection of gold jewelry. Triolokiya, driven by desperation, attempted to drug her into submission. However, 2 doses of the poison failed to work on Rajkumari. Desperate, Triolokiya resorted to a chilling act of murder. She strangled Rajkumari to death and seized her precious ornaments. News of this horrible crime reached the ears of Mukhopadhyay once again. Upon learning that Triolokiya resided in the same house as the victim, he was immediately convinced of her guilt. In a story aptly titled The Last Act, Mukhopadhyay detailed his relentless pursuit of justice. He devised a clever trap, framing Triolokiya's adopted son Hari for the murder. The sight of young Hari in handcuffs rattled Triolokiya, and in a moment of desperation she confessed. She revealed the gruesome details of her crimes, including her chilling murder spree and the hidden stash of gold jewelry tucked away behind a secret compartment in her wooden cupboard. Her cooperation, however, proved short-lived. Once she realized she had been duped into confessing, she refused to go down quietly. The case reached the High Court, where her conviction was upheld. In a final act of desperation, Triolokiya penned a mercy petition to the Lieutenant Governor of Bengal, Sir Augustus Rivers Thompson. But destiny had abandoned her. On the eve of her execution, Triolokiya received an unexpected visitor in her dark cell, Mukhopadhyay, the relentless police officer. Strangely conflicted, he grappled with the consequences of his actions. On one hand, he had outsmarted a notorious murderer, but on the other, his relentless pursuit had condemned a woman to her death. Her final words to Mukhopadhyay were haunting. "I am leaving Hari behind. Please look after him so that he does not get into trouble." And so, in 1884, Triolokiya's dark and twisted journey met its gruesome end as the hangman's noose tightened around her neck, forever silencing the horrors she had wrought upon the world. The stories don't end here. Join me in this journey every Saturday at 9 p.m. to dive deep into the shadows, uncovering the tales that send shivers down your spine. If you're ready to embark on a journey into the unknown, hit that subscribe button and join our community of fellow mystery enthusiasts. Buckle up because it's about to get mysterious in here.